Hi guys, welcome or welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Caroline and I'm so glad you're here today. Please make sure you like and subscribe so we can get right into the video. Today we are going to be talking about every book I picked up in June. I picked up a total of 10 books in June. It was a really great reading month for me. I found some of my new favorite books. I read a lot more nonfiction this month. And there's going to be a little bit of every genre in this video, and we're going to get right into it. The first book I kicked off June with was Black Widows by Kate Quinn. This one I read in paperback and an audiobook. I read it from the 2nd through the 6th of June, and I gave it a 6-star. This was my favorite read of the month. A great way to start off June. I feel like it was an omen for what June was going to look like for me. If you don't know what Black Widows is a thriller. It's honestly kind of borderline horror, but definitely a thriller with significant religious, culty undertones. And if you're not new to my channel and you've been here, thank you for being here. But you know I love cult thrillers. They are like my favorite thing to read. I'm always looking for new recommendations. If you like those kind of books, definitely check out Black Widows. We follow 3 different wives who are in a polyamorous relationship. They are part of the LDS church and, or FLDS. It may be FLDS. I can't remember if it's LDS or FLDS, but either way, they're part of a polyamorous relationship with each other. All 3 wives are very different. You have the first wife, Rachel. She is like the favorite wife, the first wife. And then the second wife is Emily. She is the baby. She's the younger girl. She's 19. And then you have Tina, and she's from Vegas, so she's kind of the secular wife, like the kind of the crazy wife. I'm not going to get too deep into my thoughts in this one. This one was in a reading vlog, so you definitely should go check it out. You can see my live reactions over there and get my true deep down, like what I truly think about the book. So I'll make sure to put the thumbnail up and put the link in the description for you guys. Definitely go check it out. But it was a 6-star read, and I'm so glad I picked it up, and I will be picking up all of Kate Quinn's books from now on. Okay, number 2, I picked up Slow Burn Summer. This one I also read in a reading vlog. This was helping me get through all of my ARCs that I have out right now. I got sent this one. Thank you so much to the author and the publisher. I really appreciate all the advanced copies I get. It's such a treat to get sent them, and I get to read them before they hit the bookshelf, so I'm always very thankful. This one I was very excited for. Josie Silver is one of the authors who got me into reading, her and Sherry Lapina. And I started with One Day in December by Josie Silver, and it still is one of my favorite books. I think about that book so fondly. I remember just how I felt in that book. It was so atmospheric. I don't remember like the characters' names or anything. I think I read it like 3 years ago at this point, but so good. I really enjoyed it. But this one, Slow Burn Summer, I read from May 25th to June 10th. So that tells you I did not enjoy this book. I gave it a 2.75 stars, 2.5. It was just very disappointing for me. Like I said, I was really excited. This is Josie Silver's first like summertime romance. Normally her books are set in the winter or around Christmas. And so I was really excited for this one. I was shocked that I got sent the ARC. I ended up picking it up, and it was just underwhelming. There wasn't necessarily anything horrible about it. It was just very slow for me. And it says it in the name. It says Slow Burn Summer, I know. But something was just like missing for me. I said in my reading vlog that we hit the 3rd act breakup before they had even gotten together, is how I felt in it. And that's really all I need to say. My deep, darkest thoughts are in that reading vlog. I'll put the cover right here, and I'll put the link in the description, of course. Go check it out, please, and thank you. I had so much fun creating those reading vlogs this month, and they're some of my favorite videos I've put out, so definitely go check them out. They're very chill, and you can get all my thoughts on Slow Burn Summer. I would recommend Slow Burn Summer still. If you like very slow burn romances. Like to the point where it is basically just a literary fiction, but you can feel maybe a little chemistry. If you've picked up Slow Burn Summer, it just got released. So if you've picked it up since the release date, please let me know how you felt about it in the comments, because I really want to talk about it and see what everybody else thought. I've seen mixed reviews. And yeah, that's really all I have to say on that one. Number 3 was If You Tell by Greg Olson. I read this one from the 12th through the 13th. I primarily read this one on audiobook. I love reading nonfiction on audiobook. It is my favorite thing. I read them in the car. This one I have been wanting to read forever. This is like the OG true crime book, I feel like, that I've heard of. This is like the true crime book if you want to start in true crime. And I did not start with this book for my true crime reading journey, but I would recommend it. I had never heard this story. I love true crime, as horrible as that sounds. I listen to Annie Elise, Stephanie Harlow, Kendall Ray, all the great ones. All the great ones. I love listening to podcasts and everything like that. So I was expecting a lot from this one. I didn't recognize the story, so I picked it up, and this story is tragic. I mean, just to its core horrific. I have heard a lot of stories that have made me sick to my stomach, and this one I was infuriated by. My heart just broke for these people in this story. All the victims, alive and the ones that passed away. I am just heartbroken for them to this day. I hope that they are living their life. The ones that are still alive, I hope that they have been able to move on and find peace, because the perpetrators in this book were just ruthless. Greg Olson did such a beautiful job at telling the story. I feel like for not knowing the story, I felt like the victims really got justice in how this story was told, and thank God the perpetrator was put away, but it's still heartbreaking. It's still so heartbreaking. And I would say this book is very dark. It's very dark. It is way darker than I was expecting from what I've seen on social media. So be cautious going into it. Yeah, I'm still just like in shock because of the story. I'm like back in it. The audiobook was really, really good. So I would recommend picking it up on audio if you have any interest in reading it. I feel like it added a lot to the story. It almost made it feel like I was listening to a true crime podcast, which, what's not to love about that? Number 4 was Love at First Sighting by Mallory Marlowe. This is also in the ARC reading vlog with Slow Burn Summer. So once again, go check it out. Love at First Sighting was my second favorite book of the month. I gave it a 5-star. I was not expecting to love this book as much as I did. It is a UFO space-centered romance, and that's how I feel. I was so excited to see the cover of this book with the little UFO on it. I knew it was going to be right up my alley, and I applied for the ARC. They sent it to me, so thank you so much. And I had such a fun time. Such a fun time. You're following Elle, who is a social media influencer, and she feels like she is being followed by a UFO one day, gets it caught on live, and she has a man walk into her life who works for like a UFO detection agency for the government, and stuff starts happening that isn't extraterrestrial, if you know what I'm saying. So definitely pick it up. It doesn't come out until August 12th, so it's not released yet, but I would 1000% recommend it for everyone. Do not let the space and UFO theme scare you. It's not super science-y. If you like Ali Hazelwood, pick this book up. The characters are very similar to Ali Hazelwood's characters. The writing is very quirky like Ali Hazelwood. It's very science-centered. So if you like Ali Hazelwood, like me, check out Mallory Marlowe's books. Also, I cannot wait to read Love and Other Conspiracies by this author. I found out that she has another book. If you have picked up that one, let me know in the comments what you thought, because I want to know if I should hop onto that one or wait until her next one comes out. So let me know. Number 5 is Stolen Innocence by Elisa Wall. This one I read between June 14th and June 18th. I read this one primarily on audiobook, but I do have the hardcover as well. This one I'm not going to be giving a rating for. But yeah, it was really, really inspiring and moving and such an impactful story. This is another woman who was in the FLDS religion. She has now escaped the religion, and it is just her story of life after the FLDS, and how it continually impacts her life. And it was really, really impactful to just hear from her authentic life perspective. Like, she lived through it and she knew so many people in the religion. She knew Warren Jeffs, she knew Rulon Jeffs, and so she was in it for like a very long time. And if you're into nonfiction and memoirs and you just like hearing other people's stories, I would really recommend listening to the audiobook of Stolen Innocence from Elisa Wall. It was just really, really great. Like I said, I'm not gonna give a rating because it's somebody else's life story. It was such a beautiful story. I obviously see the pain that she went through and the trauma, and I feel for her, and I really, yeah, I feel for her, but I can see she's come out so powerful and resilient in the end, and it was just a really beautiful story to read. Number 6, I picked up The Crash by Frida McFadden. I didn't buy this one in paperback yet. I picked it up on audio, and yuck. That's all. I read this one in one day on the 22nd of June, and man, it's the biggest regret of 2025 so far. I put 2 stars on my little note that I have, but we're gonna say it's like 1.5. I'm shocked I finished it. Shouldn't have finished it. It is a waste of paper, a waste of ink, a waste of time. Don't pick it up. There's no need to. There's better books out there. If you are interested in picking up The Crash, don't, and pick up Survive the Night by Riley Sager. You'll have a better time, better experience, and you can thank me later. That's my recommendation. Don't pick up The Crash. Pick up Survive the Night by Riley Sager. On to the next. Number 7 is The Watcher Girl by Minka Kent. I was kind of in a slump after The Crash. It made me very upset. So I picked up The Watcher Girl, and I gave this one a 3. I picked this one up because typically Minka Kent's writing is very fast-paced. It's very, I'm always on the edge of my seat. They keep me guessing. She reminds me a lot of Noelle W. Illy's writing style. So I picked her up thinking she'll write a short book that's super entertaining, and it was, for the most part. I was entertained. I was having a good time. I was curious on what was going to happen. I was suspicious of the characters, but definitely not going to stick with me. It hasn't stuck with me. We're basically following this woman who has become obsessed with her ex, and she wants to go back and like say that she's sorry for leaving him and all this stuff. She goes back to talk to him, and she ends up becoming obsessed with his entire life, everyone in it. And then things start taking a darker turn, and she's realizing that maybe she should be more skeptical and suspicious of him than worried about making amends with him. Overall, it was entertaining. It's definitely worth the read just because of how short it is. It's not a big commitment or anything, but it's just not memorable. It was a good 3-star, easy, quick read. Number 8 is Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. This one I was so surprised by. I read this one from the 22nd to the 24th. I read this one on audio and in my paperback copy, and I went into this very skeptical. I've never thought or been under the impression that cowboy romance or Western romance was going to be it for me. I am from the South. It's just not my type. I feel like I've just been around it my whole life. And so it's just never really been my thing. It's never really been my thing in adulthood. And so I have kind of stayed away from it. I've never read Elsie Silver. I have her books right here, but I just never picked them up. And so I picked up Done and Dusted just because they're shorter than Elsie Silver's. I've seen a lot of good things about Done and Dusted, and I loved it. Loved it. I gave it a 4.5, 4.75 stars. It was adorable. The audiobook added so much to the reading experience. Clementine and Luke were just so mature and so funny and so like they became friends before they were together, and that's always really beautiful in books to see, like the friends to lovers trope. And I also just felt very seen by Clementine. She struggled with a lot of the same things that I struggle with, and seeing her find love in the end was really just, it really warmed me. I just felt like I was being hugged by this book, and that's always what I look for in romance books. And I'm definitely going to be picking up the rest of the series and more cowboy romance because of Lila Sage. So if you're hesitant and maybe you're like me and you're like, I'm never going to like cowboy romance, but you are a romance reader, maybe check out Done and Dusted and give it a shot and read it on audio. It's way better on audio. Number 9, I read The Last Party by Claire McIntosh. I love Claire McIntosh. I picked this one up from the 24th through the 27th, and I gave it a 2-star. I picked up I Let You Go by this author last year, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very sad, very thrilling, very scary, and that's what I look for in thrillers. I was expecting The Last Party to be jaw-dropping. It's 600 pages. It is a massive book. Thought there's going to be a really good story in there. The premise sounds so fun. It's like a party with a bunch of friends in an exclusive neighborhood gone wrong, and then you're following the investigator who is trying to figure out what happened in the case from her perspective, and then you're also going into the other timeline and you're walking through the night of the party and what happened. And I was bored out of my mind. Like, truly bored out of my mind. I tried to listen to this one on audio too, and I remember posting on Goodreads at 60%, like, why am I not at 90%? Why am I not at 90%? I felt like I knew every life detail of every single character, and that leads me to my second point is why were there so many characters? There was like 30 characters in this book, and I was exhausted. I could not keep track of them. I was so confused. I did not feel like the story made a lot of sense to me. Maybe I'm just dumb. That could be it, or maybe I just don't like it. But it was just not for me. It was set even in an idyllic like area in Scotland or in North Wales, and I thought like, wow, it's going to be even the narrator for the audiobook had like a really thick accent, and you could tell they were trying to build the atmosphere, but it just was not happening for me. And for it to be set in an idyllic European country, and they're kind of by the water in a dark, small village, I thought it was just going to bring a lot more to the table, and it did not. So I probably will not be finishing the Detective Fionn Morgan trilogy or series. This lacked a lot for me. And the last one that I picked up in the month of June, I traveled to Dallas this past weekend, so I'm very behind on doing videos and stuff, but I got a lot of content up there. I went and saw one of my friends, and I just had a really good break. And so for my drive up there, I live in South Texas. It's about 4 hours from where I live, so I had about 8 hours round trip to listen to an audiobook. So I picked up The Perfect Father by John Glatt, and I read this one from like the 28th to the 30th, just over the weekend while I was there when I had time. And this story is about Chris Watts. If you don't know Chris Watts, I doubt you don't know Chris Watts. But if you don't, he is a prolific family annihilator in America who is from Colorado. He killed his wife and two daughters and one son who was not born yet. And he is one of the most despicable humans on the planet, in my opinion. And he's just despicable. His crimes were horrific. They literally break my heart to this day. This book is John Glatt's interpretation of the story, his investigation of the story. And before I say, I'm going to give this one a 5-star. I think overall the book was really great. I learned some things I didn't know about the story before. I felt very connected to everyone in the book. I left feeling very sad, but still very just hopeful based on the living family members and their desire to move forward with their life, that I found that very compelling and moving. So overall, I really enjoyed the book. I think it was very easy to listen to. It was a good audiobook, but the first half I feel like depicted Chris in the wrong light. In my opinion, I just felt very off about the first 40% of the book and how Chris was depicted. Now, by the end, you can definitely tell John Glatt's stance on Chris Watts and that he's obviously a horrible person. The first half just left kind of a bad taste in my mouth. So I will say, just forewarning, there is some of Chris's life involved too, and who he was before the crime that made me kind of feel like they were trying to paint him in a good light, which he just doesn't deserve at this point, at all. He's in prison for life, so let's just not give him any credit or any goodwill. But overall, I really enjoyed the story. I appreciated everything that the author brought to the story, all the unique details that maybe some people didn't know. And I love listening to other people's stories and hearing them. And yeah, I'm just heartbroken for that family, for both families, and that got impacted, and everyone else that got impacted in that situation, the friends, and just the coworkers and people around them. It is truly a heartbreaking story. If you haven't looked into Chris Watts, you definitely should. There's so much content out there about him. Like I said, he's going to go down as one of the most prolific family annihilators in American history. So definitely go check him out. If you're not going to read this book, go listen to a podcast or something and hear the girls' stories, because they deserve to have their name and them being talked about forever. They were beautiful, beautiful kids and a beautiful wife, and they deserve to be talked about and remembered. So go check out that story and pick up The Perfect Father. It's really good. That's going to wrap up all I have for you today. That's all 10 books I picked up in June. Like I said, I had a really great reading month, and I hope you did too. Let me know in the comments section what your favorite read of the month was and what your least favorite read of the month was, and maybe I'll get around to reading some. And we can talk about what we both like and what we both dislike. And yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.